Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. First of all, I would like to express my happiness because I am given a chance to share what I have got as a linguist to my students. I am assigned to handle classes of English phonetics and phonology. I am sure that some of you, if not many of you, keep asking what or keep wondering what English phonetics and phonology is all about. Okay, we are going to talk about that within this semester. Before that, let's get. Today, so we are trying to having the Al-Fatihah, the Al-Fatah, or the introduction to what we are going to talk about within this semester. Let me tell you, English phonetics and phonology, phonology are two different things. We are going to talk about them later. Phonetics and phonology are branches of linguistics. Okay? And then there is a big question, what is linguistic actually is. Let me tell you that linguistics is a discussion about the nature of language. What language? So linguistic is a discussion about what language actually is. So, linguistic is a discussion about what language is. Let me make it simple. Let me make it step by step. Linguistic is a discussion about language, and there is a question now. What is language? Actually, I have, if you come to my class of Indonesian language last semester, I already explained what language actually is. Of course, I explained that in Indonesian language, okay? Because so it is the course of Indonesian language. Oh yeah, before I go further, so when you use English, please use Indonesian language, not bahasa. Okay, when you use English, use English. Don't mix up the vocabulary. Mix up the words when you are using Indonesian. So how do you say it in bahasa? So I keep wondering, why do you use bahasa? What do you say it in Indonesian language? Not how do you say it in bahasa. Okay, now let's come to what is language. Okay. Language is something. Yes, I know that, Pak Fauzi. So language is something. Yeah, language is something which is used by people in order that they can communicate to each other. Let me repeat. What is language? Language is a tool which is used by people, which is used by human beings in order that they can communicate to each other. Let me repeat it. Language is something or a tool which is used by human beings or people in order that they can communicate to each other. Okay? So I underline human beings here. I underline people here because only people use language. Other creatures do not use language. And then now you are asking me, what about animals, Pak Fauzi? I know that there are animals' language. Based on linguistic perspective, animals do not use language. Only people use language. We are going to talk about it later. Okay, let me repeat. What is language? Language is a tool which is used by people in order that they can communicate to each other. And now you ask me, Pak Fauzi, the definition is too long. Can you make it simple? Okay, let me make it simple. What is language? Language is a means of communication. Okay. Language is a tool for communication. And now there is a big question. What is communication? Yeah. Communication is interaction between people. So we are talking about linguistics, right? So between people. What about animals? Oh, we are not talking about animals. Later, I will underline, I will highlight that. Communication is interaction between people in order that they can share information. What is communication? Communication is interaction. A is doing action, B is doing action, so there is interaction. Okay, communication is interaction between two people, at least two people, in order that they can share information. Pak Fauzi, the definition is too long. Why don't you make it simple? Okay, let's make it simple. Communication is interaction of communication sharing. Oh, sorry. Communication is interaction of information sharing. Okay? Let's say it is not virtual, it is offline. Now I am asking someone here, so I just ask a general question. Excuse me, Felicia, what is your hobby? And then Felicia, because she has got what you call that principle of interaction, cooperative principle. So Pak Fauzi asked Felicia about her hobby, and Felicia has got cooperative principle. So she replied Pak Fauzi's question. Oh, my hobby is singing, Pak Fauzi. Okay. So Alhamdulillah, communication happened between Pak Fauzi and Felicia. Why do we call it communication? Because Pak Fauzi hadn't known the hobby of Felicia before, and then he decided to ask Felicia about her hobby, and fortunately Felicia was willing to answer, and then there is interaction, there is information shared between Pak Fauzi and Felicia. Okay, what is communication? Communication is interaction of information sharing. What I exemplified just now is different from a communication happen if I wrote down something, and then, for example, I wrote down what is your girlfriend's name, and then I gave it to Ambrosius, for example, and then Ambrosius replied, oh, my girlfriend's name is Mededicta, sir. Okay, so it is also an example of communication, but different from the communication happened between Pak Fauzi and Felicia compared to the communication between Pak Fauzi and Benedictus asking about his girlfriend. Okay, so what is the difference between those two types of communication? Yes. What happened between Pak Fauzi and Felicia is oral, is an oral communication. And then communication happening between Pak Fauzi and Benedictus was not an oral communication but written communication. Why do you call it oral communication? Why do you call it written communication? Yeah. The type is based on the media used when they communicate. What media was used by Pak Fauzi and Felicia? Yeah, Pak Fauzi and Felicia used utterance when they communicated. What happened to Pak Fauzi and Benedictus? Asking his girlfriend. So Pak Fauzi didn't use utterance. Benedictus didn't use utterance either. He used writing system instead. Okay. Yeah, you can see that there are two types of communication: oral communication versus written communications. So how many types are there? Two. The first type is verbal communication. The second type is non-verbal communication. Hey, Pak Fauzi, you said just now the types are oral communication versus written communication. This is A and B. 1A and 1B. That is another type. 2. The other type is non-verbal communication. For example, and then I exemplified Felicia, Benedictus, and then Ambrosius, right? Whoever. And then, for example, Ghazali. So Ghazali knows that Pak Fauzi understands Arabic. And then Ghazali said something to me. Assalamualaikum ya Ustaz, kaif ya Ustaz? And then I replied Ghazali's questions by, what did Ghazali say? Kaif ya Ustaz? Kaif haluk ya Ustaz? Did I say something as action to answer Ghazali's question? No, I didn't say anything. Did I write something? No, I didn't write anything. Did I reply or did I give response to Ghazali's action? Yes. Interaction happened between me and Ghazali. Ghazali used oral communication. What about me? Did I use oral communication? No. Did I use written communication? No. I used non-verbal communication. Okay, how many types of communications are there? There are two. The first is verbal communication. The second is non-verbal communication. So why is 1A called oral communication? Because the media used is utterance. Why is it called written communication? Because the media being used is writing system. Why is it called non-verbal communication? Because the media used is non-verbal aspects, gestures, signs. Okay. So far, is it clear enough? What is linguistics? Discussions about language. What is language? Language is a discussions about what is language? Language is a means of communication. What is communication? Communication is interaction of sharing information. How many types of communications are there? 2, 1, 2, 1A, 1B, and then 2. Okay. I underline that only human beings, only people use language. What about animals? Let's take an example, cats. Okay, I have got some cats at home. Okay. Do they use language? No. What do they use? They use instincts instead. Okay. Why? When we are talking about language, an important notion in language is displacement, the concept of displacement. Displacement is dealing with not only here, but also there, not only now, but also then and future. Okay, let's talk about my children. Where are my children? Where am I now? Where is Pak Fauzi now? Pak Fauzi is in the campus of Ibn Khaldun, Universitas Ibn Khaldun, in the lecturer's room. Okay? Where are my children? At home. Do my children know where their father now? Yes, inshallah. Because I told them this morning when I wanted to go. Okay. Yeah, my children, Rafa and Zahra, think that Bapak is not home, but Bapak is there at Ibn Khaldun campus. Okay, so my children has got a concept of here and there. And what about my cats? Do they know where Bapak is now? No. But do they know when Bapak is home? Yes. They only have the concept of here only. But human beings have got the concept of here and there. What are my children now at home? Okay, what they expect in the afternoon? Bapak comes. Okay, my children have got the concept of now and future and then. This morning Bapak was home, and then now Bapak is at Ibn Khaldun, and inshallah this afternoon Bapak is home. Okay? Human beings have got the concept of now and that, but animals only know now. Human beings know, here and there, and animals only know here solely. And then human beings know now, then, and the future. Animals only know now. Okay? Yeah. So it is based on the linguistic perspective. Only human beings have got people. So we are going to talk about that later when we see. So if you want to talk further about the concept of language and human language and animal language. Okay. Yeah, now let me continue. I am sure that what you call that you experience that you experience an occasion when someone has just come back from Mecca, from the pilgrimage, and then she, for example, the ustazah, the wife of the ustaz, blah blah, okay, and then she invited you to come to her house. Okay, in Sudanese, si sok mangga neng ka bumi ibunya. Okay, mungkin dibere sanes dibere di pasihan naon air jam-jam ku ibu gitu ya. Okay, and then when you come to her house, the ibu-ibu, the ustazah, and then she welcomes you, and then she tells you her experience during the pilgrimage. In Sudanese, aduh neng, subhanallah, atuh nengnya, ibu teh di Arab, di tanah suci neng, tak heran-heran neng, ibu turun pan di jedahnya, di jedah, eta ibu turun di pesawat, ningali eta budak seupil-upil kieu neng, fasih nyarios Arab neng, and then you laugh, okay, and then in your heart you say, like yang labu, okay, and then when you say, si neng terpercaya, kasih ibu, okay, okay, now I am sure that you experience that joke, okay, yeah. So how could the pentil children are able to speak Arabic? Yeah, because they were born there in Arabic speaking area. And when you come to Gunung Picung, you come to Pamijahan, you see that the pentil are fasih in Sundanese. And when you come to Sungai Limau, Pariaman, West Sumatra, you can see the pentil are fluent in Minangkabau language. And when you go to Gunung Kidul, Wonosari, Ngayu Jogarta, Hadiningrat, so you will see many children are fluent in Javanese, just simply because so they were born in that particular language speaking area. Yeah, so what I would like to express, actually, what I would like to convey to you, there is a theory, there is a hypothesis that human being, a baby is a creature who can get any language given to him or to her. Okay, so a bule. Okay, so I experienced a bule baby was born in Malang in a Padepokan, and then the baby grew up with Javanese accent, and then the baby's language is Javanese, not English as the language of the baby's the language of their mother. Okay, yeah. When we are talking about language, there is also a concept of arbitrariness. What is arbitrariness? I am asking you, for example, this one in English, okay. What's this? And then you answer my questions. That's it is a book, Pak Fauzi. Okay. And then when I switch into Sundanese, for example, ita naon is eta teh buku, Pak Fauzi. Okay. What you call that? In English, it is called book. In Sundanese, it is called buku. So there is a question. So why Sundanese say it? Why do English people call it book? So it relates to the sound when it drops. So the sound likes book, the book. Okay. So they call it book. Okay. Or you can read my book. So there are some example of arbitrariness. For example, when you fill a plastic bag with water, and then you squeeze the plastic, and then the water will ngecret if it is small. So if you make it a bit bigger, so the water will ngecret, the bigger ngecrut, and then ngecret. So they are example of arbitrariness. Why don't you try to read my books dealing with also the pages that I recommended, other pages that I recommended to what you call that? Oh, sorry, it is not arbitrariness but onomatope. So what is onomatope, everybody? Onomatope is a phenomenon when labeling something is dealing with the sound. So, for example, if I ask you this one, okay, mahaza yatil mizi, and then you said hazi maktabun ya ustazi. Okay. Naon ieu neng? Eta teh meja Bapak. What's this, my students? It is a table. So what's the difference between table and this? What is the what you call that? Correlation between table and this? What is the correlation between maktabun and this? What is the correlation between meja and this? No. So it is an example of arbitrariness. What is arbitrariness, everybody? Arbitrariness is a phenomenon when labeling something has nothing to do with the sound, has nothing to do with certain reason. So it only has got something to do with convention. So it is the way English people call it table, no reason. It is just the way. So it is just a convention that Arabic speaking people call it, what you call it, maktabun, no specific reason. So meja is not Indonesian, so it is Portuguese. So Portuguese people call it mesa. So just a convention, just terms of convention. Okay, we have got limited time, everybody. Why don't you try to what you call that, read the difference between onomatope versus arbitrariness. So next week we are going to talk further about English phonetics, and then we are going to talk about phonology after the mid-test later. Okay, before to bridge our general discussion today and next week discussion, I would like to say, okay, let me give an example. Are you sure that, you can communicate with everybody when you go to Gunung Pichung? Yes, Pak. Especially when you are able to speak in Sudanese. You can speak, you can communicate with them. Okay. Orally or writtenly? Okay. Yeah. So you can communicate with everybody in Lewiliang, in Gunung Pichung. Moreover, if you are fluent in Sudanese, you are able to communicate with everybody there. Everybody there. But are you sure that I can communicate writtenly to everybody in Gunung Pichung? I am sure, although it's only several kilometers from the capital city of Indonesia, you can still find someone who are not able to write. Okay? And then when you write something and then you give it to there, ni punten, ieu teh naon? Okay. And then I am sure that you will find someone who may reply with punten atuh sep, neng abdi mah teu bisa baca, aduh si neng teh kumaha kitunya. Okay. Can you communicate with him, with the nini, with her, with the nini? Yes, but only orally, but not writtenly. You can see that language is primarily speech. Writing system is later in the modern era. Okay? So when we are talking about language, we have to start from talking about oral factors, oral matters, language sounds. We are going to talk about language sounds within the semester, and we will talk about phonetics next week. Okay? My students, thank you very much for watching this video. It is already 17 seconds. I think it is better for me to stop. We are continuing our discussion next week. The last words from me is Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.